What is mining? Do you need to dig something? Is it worth downloading the software and trying to mine Bitcoin from home? I'm Carol, co-founder of Area Bitcoin. Subscribe to know everything about Bitcoin, money, and opt-out fiat system. The process of creating new Bitcoin units is very similar to search for gold. That's why the Bitcoin mining concept. In gold, miners keep digging the deposit until they find the precious metal. In the Bitcoin network, miners look for a specific number called nonce through trial and error until they find the correct answer and close each block of information. These solved blocks are queued in a way that a block of information is linked to the next block. It's called blockchain. After finding the correct answer, the miners present a cryptographic proof of the closed block for the entire network to verify that everything is correct. If everything is okay, the network goes ahead adding the next block in the chain of information. This whole process is called proof of work. This is how Bitcoin blockchain achieves consensus on what is processed on the network. The miner who closes the block first receives Bitcoin as a reward. Today, this reward is 6.25 Bitcoin per block, and every 4 years this reward is cut in half, causing less Bitcoin to enter into the market. The logic of Bitcoin network is like putting together a puzzle. There are two types of participants, miners and nodes. The miners are the participants who pick up the pieces of the puzzles and try to form the image of the game. And the nodes are the stuck-up aunt who keeps giving a tip to see if you got the right piece. When the miner finds the missing piece, it's very easy for everyone to verify. Just look at the image and see if the piece is correct or not. It's a very transparent mechanism and everyone follows the results in real time. I brought the example of a puzzle because Bitcoin uses game theory precisely. The entire network competes to reach the correct result first and receive Bitcoin before they run out. This is because there is a limit of the number of Bitcoin that the network can create, 21 million. And more than 19 million have already been created. That's why the network launch was the most important and most profitable moment for miners to receive BTC. The beginning of the Bitcoin network was the most vulnerable period of the network. The network needed to strengthen its computational power and decentralize as much as possible. The network's incentives were directed towards attracting more miners, increasing the network's computational power, and having more copies of the blockchain spread around the world. That's why in the beginning of the Bitcoin network from 2009 to 2013, anyone with a home computer, a CPU, could mine and get a lot of Bitcoin for it. But after the network maturated and more participants entered, the difficulty to mine Bitcoin also increased. It's the famous difficulty adjustment that happens every 2 weeks on average. This means that the more participants, the more computers are competing to solve the blocks. So if the network is empty and few people are willing to participate, the algorithm adjusts the calculations to take it easy on people and manage to close the blocks in the time of 10 minutes per block. So the difficulty adjustment implies how much computational power, also called Hashrate, miners will need to calculate each block. We have noticed that this computational power is getting higher and higher. A higher hash rate has a few implications. The first is that the network becomes more secure. To attack the network with a high hash rate, you need to have very powerful machines and a lot of energy, which gets harder and harder as the network grows. Over time, computers needed more computational power with the increase of difficulty, and this requires more powerful machines and more electrical energy. That's why, over time, those who used home computers, CPUs, had to buy dedicated processors, GPUs, to mine Bitcoin. After a while, these GPUs also started to struggle to do these calculations, which became more and more difficult. With time, an entire industry was created around Bitcoin and specific machines were created, the ASICs. If you Google it, you will find images on the internet of giant farms with mining machines. They invest heavily in structure. That's why mining Bitcoin today from your home computer is not that profitable. Probably you will spend more energy than get Bitcoin in reward. Unless you have a cheap energy source or want to stack sats without KYC, home mining can be more expensive than buying through peer-to-peer or through on-ramp platforms like exchanges. And if you try to mine Bitcoin from your home, you need to calculate if it's worth for you. You may pay a high electricity bill and even not making up for the investment in machines and not even receiving enough Bitcoin to pay for the electricity bill that will arrive. That's why today the Bitcoin mining farms are located in regions of the world where electricity is plentiful and cheap. Places like Paraguay, Iceland, and wind and solar power parks, where energy is wasted because it is produced in excess and there is not enough demand to absorb it all. Oh, but Carol, are the miners the ones who decide everything in the Bitcoin network, so they can riot and steal all the Bitcoin just for them? That would be the biggest shot in the foot for miners, and again, game theory comes in and put logic into it. The Bitcoin network was created so that all participants collaborate with each other and are rewarded for protecting and running the network. Therefore, any contrary action is either ineffective or ends up not being worthwhile for the rebel miner. Even if some miners start to go crazy, most miners are interested in protecting the network, because if the network starts to crash, Bitcoin loses its value and the miners' work is over. Also, the nodes that Bitcoin users run, not necessarily miners, can help to verify the blockchain and choose not to follow any different block that doesn't follow the consensus rules. The Bitcoin network uses game theory to run and to encourage miners to be guardians of the network and always protect it. Any suspicious movement is immediately detected by the nodes and communicated to the network. Those nodes are run by people all over the world, and you also can run from your home computer. You don't receive Bitcoin as reward for running a node, as miners do, but you have the power to monitor the network, so these nodes that ensure decentralization and help protect the Bitcoin network. Today there are around 17,000 Bitcoin nodes scattered around the world. So, to summarize, Bitcoin mining is one of the mechanisms that process and protect the Bitcoin network through computational power. Hope you have enjoyed this video. See you next time, and opt out.